House of Representatives has adopted the Niger Delta Development Commission 2024 Appropriation Bill of 1.91 trillion naira. This follows the consideration of a report of the Committee on NDDC chaired by Mrs. Ibori, that's PDP Delta, during Wednesday's plenary in Abuja. And you'll recall that while defending the Commission's 2024 budget before the House Committee on NDDC earlier in July, Managing Director of the NDDC, Samuel Buku, stated that the Commission would source funding for its proposed spending from loans to the tune of 1 trillion naira, where he said we have strategically made provisions towards diversifying our sources of funding, as we intend to source an aggregate sum of 1 trillion naira to fund ongoing legacy projects of the Commission in 2024. The sum will be outsourced from development and commercial banks. Now, Buku stressed that investing in critical infrastructure is a key component of our fiscal strategy under the 2024 budget proposal. Representatives have, that's reps now, has approved 1.9 trillion naira 2024 NDDC budget.
Well, I want to commend the new board for even finding time to have a budget and present a budget. But what goes on in my mind is as if it were that the very essence of forming the NDDC is defeated.
Why? Why do you say so?
Because the intention of NDDC was to see how this commission, from the oil derivation, some chunk of it should be designated for this intervention commission, where the state government could not meet up in the Niger Delta as is. The NDDC can now intervene. But for the NDDC now to begin to talk about going to source for fund, one, are they telling us that the federal government is saying we can no longer fund you? Number two, is NDDC saying that you also want to survive by another huge sum of borrowing again to indebt Nigerians, to indebt the Niger Delta people? So I want to think that if you do not really have resources to run the commission anymore, probably the federal government and the people of Niger Delta should review the original intention or the purpose of forming NDDC. For me, I would like to appeal to Mr. President, even if the National Assembly has adopted that budget, because it has to do with relieving the federal government from the headache of funding that budget. So it's like, okay, if you know you can source for this fund, go ahead. But my worriness is that we are where we are today because of the huge indebtedness of the federal government that runs in 140-something trillion.
More
yes, and then different commissions now, apart from the state government borrowing too, the NDDC now wants to come with that formula of borrowing. I would like to say that the NDDC should manage within the little resources that the federal government gives to her. And they are also trying to let us know that over the period of years that the NDDC have not been investing. But I am aware that the very time that the NDDC came on board, during the time of Timi Alaibe, there was mass transit buses. There were some kind of economic fund-driven processes to generate resources for the commission. So I would like to appeal to the new board that reduce bogus infrastructure. At this period in our national life, we are thinking about economic restoration.
Reduce bogus infrastructure even though it's going to benefit the people?
Benefit who? What are the infrastructure they are talking about? Is it going to be different thing, new, okay, we are going to have road on the sea? Or is this still the normal road that they will construct?
So why are you calling it bogus if it's normal?
What I'm trying to say is that we are in a time that we need to make do with what we have and see how we can, revive our economy by coming up with, economic-driven, projects. It should not be the time.
Which infrastructures are part of?
Are they trying to build housing? Are they trying to build hospitals that our state government and federal government have not built? What I'm trying to say is that the NDDC should collaborate with the state governments, just like the former president appealed to them. Collaborate with the federal government. There are areas that state government are already on. You don't need to intervene in those areas. So what we are saying is that there is hunger in the land. There is insecurity in the land. So the NDDC should concentrate on ensuring that the Niger Delta people, their economic well-being is improved upon.
How is the NDDC supposed to do that?
You can come up with grants.
The NDDC?
Of course. It's their intervention agency. They didn't give them the mandate that you must build a hospital for Niger Delta people.
Then where does the state government come in if the NDDC is coming up with grants?
That's what we are saying now. NDDC has a mandate to intervene, even in grants, even in scholarship.
When they are talking about not having enough funds and wanting to borrow.
The funds they have, that federal government is allocating to them, still runs in billions. You have to manage your vision within the frame of what you have. For now, if they were coming with this kind of budget proposal, when our economy is a little bit stable, that would have been wonderful. But for now, our economy is highly indebted. So coming to borrow trillions again, and then tomorrow you hear that the money, there is a fraud in NDDC, there is this one.
For a reason.
Every money that has been,
understand that they are borrowing it for a reason.
Every money that has been borrowed in this country that ran to this 140 trillion was for a reason. There is never a time that the bank or the Senate or National Assembly will approve a loan or a borrowing without a reason. So it has always been for a reason. So my big question is, you don't think the reason that has been stated is valuable enough? For now, it's not valuable enough. To forget about, let's talk about stomach infrastructure. Then I think it's valuable enough. So for now, we are not talking, I don't really understand the project they want to go into. But I've not read the budget anyway very well. So if I look at the budget, I can maybe constructively say, okay, if it is the one that has to do with economic restoration of the Niger Delta people, not in building roads for now. But the same road that they're talking about working on right now, that's the east-west road, since you have mentioned building roads now, which the NDDC said construction has begun and, working on that road, the patches and all of that. Don't you think that that road, when we talk about economy in Nigeria, has a very huge role to play? Having that some of these products are being transported from one state to the other, still through that road. We are not disputing. Don't you think that is going to really help the economy? Because Nigerians have applauded it because they feel that way. Yes, I applauded them. That is not the reason why the 1 trillion will be borrowed. The resources they use in trying to intervene in that east-west road has nothing to do with this 1 trillion plus. This is a new budget they are coming up with. So my appeal is that NDDC should look at projects that will alleviate the economic cry of the Niger Delta people. It's not the time to say you want to build a train road. It's not the time you want to do one kind of construction, for politicians and some, stakeholders to come and collect in the name of project and whatsoever. We are saying that NDDC should work within the framework that will alleviate the poverty and the economic hardship of Niger Delta people, not on huge road construction, not on 150 road construction that will not see the benefit on our people. They are good. I'm not saying it's bad, but that budget can come maybe after, maybe like next year, after when the Niger Delta people can feed.
Can we ever get to that point?
Let us feed first.
Can we ever get to that point?
It is possible.
Because it has been on for a very long time where we've been complaining about the people, not just the Niger Delta people now. Nigeria has not been able to feed.
And that's why
so the NDDC should pause all of their projects until, well, that's your thoughts.